Good morning, student. This is the first part of the chapter Money and Credit, class 10, subject Social Science. Student, in this chapter we will discuss two issues, number one money and number two credit. In the section money we will try to understand that uh, what was the history of money. It means that when money as a medium of exchange came into being for the purpose of transaction or for the purpose of purchasing various goods and services, and when money was not there, what was the system. Like in your 8th class or even in your 6th class history book you studied that there existed a barter system. So we would be studying about existence of barter system and what practical problem it was associated with. That is why we require to have some another means of transaction or making the payment. Then student, we will also understand that modern form of money, which include paper, notes and coins, is now connected with the banking system. And you can say that with the computerization of the banking system, our forms of money are changing and getting better and better. Like these days we have plastic card that you call debit card or credit card. These days we have mobile banking and internet banking, where without going to our bank physically we can make the transaction. These days your parents are making the transaction, paying the school fees through the internet, or there are other means also that they are using, like e-wallet facility, various e-wallet like Google Pay, Paytm, and many more. I don't remember every facility's name, but these are also feature that your parents are using to pay your school fees to the school, and various other transactions in these days used to take place. One more thing is there is student, that in this section we will discuss about stock of money, how stock of money include the currency what people are having and the demand deposit. I will explain you what the demand deposit in the coming section. Then we will discuss what are the functions, what are the other functions of money, and what are the utilities of money also. In this part we will also discuss that all the money and money related issue is determined by our central government. Here we will try to understand that our government decide that which currency note has to be introduced. If you remember, 3.5 years ago our present government had taken a decision that was called demonetization. It means the currency note of rupees 500 and currency note of rupees 1000 denomination were discontinued, and instead of that new currency note of 500 was introduced, as well as new currency note of rupees 2000 was introduced. Student, this is not the part of your textbook, but your book is suggesting that you can make the discussion. As this video content don't allow me to have enough opportunity to have interaction with you other than few questions what come on the YouTube to me and I try to answer them, I would suggest you that whenever you get your interactive class, ask your teacher to discuss the demonetization issues and what purpose it was to achieve. It was meant to overcome the problem of corruption and how it could have been and what we could achieve. All this you can discuss over there, but I will explain you whenever it will be required. Student, there was various other issues never, like credit. Sorry, I forgotten to mention that credit is another issue we shall discuss. What is credit? What is credit arrangement? In simple terms you can say that loan is called the credit arrangement, or if it has to be defined you can say that it is a facility to the consumer to purchase various goods and services without making immediate transaction. However, there is a trust factor that transaction or payment shall be made in the near future. You can understand various examples. Maybe your father has purchased a car. You are enjoying the car in the family, but he has not made the all payment of the car to the car company. Rather, he has borrowed the money. He has taken a loan to purchase this car from the bank. Though you are using car at present, but car still don't belongs to you. Your father will continue to pay monthly installment, and once all the installment will be paid, then your father will have the ownership of this resources. Then we will discuss that how loan is very important for the farmers who do the agriculture production. We will discuss that what are the contradiction in our banking system, that loan actually required to the needy people are not given because they are unable to give the proper security, which is called collateral. We will discuss about house loan also. We will discuss about the negative side of the loan, that many people, when they take the loan and find themselves unable to pay the loan, they are in the situation called debt trap. We will discuss the issues that when the loaning is not done to the poor people, as I said, poor normally goes to take the loan to the informal sector like money lender or friends or relative, where the charge they are supposed to pay the higher rate of interest, but they do not go to the banking system where the rate of interest is quite less and it would be helpful for them. There are various reasons. As I said, one reason is that they are in the not in the state of giving the proper collateral. So we will try to understand to find and to overcome this problem. There was made a self-help group. All shall be detailed in the discussion. I'm just introducing in the beginning of this chapter, and in the last part of this chapter we will discuss that how Grameen Bank is another means to help out the people in the village area to overcome their problem of lack of money, and how the arrangement of loan or the credit can be helpful for them, and what has been done by the Grameen Bank. That is all, student, we are likely to discuss in this chapter. Very quickly I try to give you a gist of the entire chapter, that what area we shall address. Alright student, let us start from your textbook, page number 39, and your first heading is money as a medium of exchange. Page 39 of your NCERT book. Please go through there and you will be finding that various images are also shown. But let me begin with this, that I hope you all are student of class 10th. I hope everybody is clear in their mind that every single day, every single minute across the world, there is some sort of payment or transaction is taking place for purchasing of goods and services. Also, sometime purchase of goods and services taking place, but without immediate payment or immediate transaction. Rather, there is a promise that the transaction will be made in the near future. We discussed little earlier, that is called credit. So nutshell message is, so what in short I want to say, that across the world there is transaction taking place using the money. Now question is, why do we use money? Why it is the money required to exchange? Why money is required as a medium of exchange for purchasing every goods and services? So student, there are two reasons. Number one, that money is that medium which help us to purchase any goods and services existing in this world, and that is how money is a very valid medium of exchange. Second is, student, that whatever people do, various economic activities you have studied in chapter number 2, that is sectors of Indian economy. You have studied that people do primary, secondary and tertiary activities, and there we discuss, if you remember, we discussed that against all these activities we are paid in forms of money. Take your parents as an example. Maybe your parents is a farmer. So if he is a farmer, after producing a crop, he used to go to mandi, sell the crop, whatever he is producing, and get something in terms of money. If suppose your father is working in a factory, then he is also being paid in the terms of money, in the form of money. And suppose if someone is like working in the service sector, like people like me who is teaching, or your teacher in the school, after teaching you for a month, they are being paid by the management of in terms of salary, in terms of money. So money is that in our possession which can be used to purchase all other goods and services to fulfill our requirement. To help you better understand, student, your book has given an example of a shoe manufacturer who is wanting to sell shoes and a wheat seller. And there is a situation that shoe manufacturer, how it take place. The shoe manufacturer opens a shop every morning. He used to wait that the people will come and purchase the shoes. People do come, purchase the shoes, give the money because they have money to exchange. That is how shoe manufacturer or shoe seller actually sell his articles and in return gets the money. That money he can take and he can go to the grocery shop or the shop where the wheat is being sold, and he can purchase the wheat from the market for fulfilling his food requirement and his family requirement. So you can say that between shoe and between wheat there is a medium of exchange that is called money. Money has made it possible. Now imagine you have studied in your class 6 that there was a time when there was no existence of money, rather there exists a barter system. Agree, student? So let us find out that what barter system we have studied so far. Was it so easy to follow, or was there some practical problem existing? Now take the money out of this example. Now think that shoe manufacturer is wanting to sell shoes and wanting to get wheat for his family. But because there is no other medium of exchange, what you call money, he is required to go outside and look someone who is wanting to get a shoes for himself or for any member of his family. So he will be going outside, he will be looking for someone who is wanting to purchase shoes. Luckily, he could find someone. So it is just a coincidence that while going outside, he could find a one person who was willing to get shoes. But there was another problem. That person was not selling wheat. So the deal cannot take place, because exchange materials are only shoes and wheat. One person is wanting to sell shoes, other is wanting to purchase shoes, but the person who is wanting to purchase shoes don't happen to be in the possession of wheat. So deal will not take place. Now, suppose this person is, the shoe manufacturer is still moving. Now this time he could find another person. He is wanting to purchase shoes from the shoe manufacturer, and luckily there is another coincidence. That is that the person is also selling wheat. So you can say, student, that in this case we could find two coincidences. First coincidence, that shoe manufacturer could find someone who was wanting to purchase shoes. And on the other side, that person was also willing to sell his wheat, and the shoe manufacturer wanted to purchase the wheat. So you can say that there is a problem of double coincidence of want in the barter system. It looks very easy that there was barter system existing in the early time when there was no money as a medium of exchange, but actually it was very difficult task. So you can say your book on this page number 39 has shown through a particular example. There is a shoe manufacturer. He is saying, I will give you shoes for your wheat. But the second person who is saying, I don't need shoes, I need clothes. So there will be no deal, because one shoes manufacturer can sell shoes. But the person who is looking in this picture, this is little another example. What I said little earlier, what I gave you earlier was different than this. But again, the purpose is same. We want to give you that there is double coincidence required. But on the same side, there is another person. I want shoes, but I don't have wheat. So between these three, there will be no deal possible. This example is giving you an idea that there are three group of people in which no deal can take place, because what one want to sell, other don't want to purchase, and what other want to sell, the previous one, the first one, don't want to purchase. So for barter system, there will be always a problem of double coincidence of want. Means shoe manufacturer will have to look for someone who is wanting to purchase shoes. That is first coincidence. And second coincidence, that the person who is wanting to purchase shoes also selling wheat. So now between these two, the deal can take place. There is another problem, student, that is not discussed in your textbook, that is price determination. We used to say that deal was taking place earlier quite easily, but what could be the measurement criteria? Today we have a mathematical value, or you can say a mathematical digit, that you call a price for every commodity. You say that potato is rupees 8 kg, 8 rupees per kg, tomato is rupees 20 per kg. It means there is a mathematical digit that determine the prices. How at that time it could have taken place? Suppose in the early period, if a seller of gold wanted to purchase a wheat, how quantity could have been determined? Today we can say that suppose if gold, 10 gram of gold costs 40,000 of rupees, and 1 kg of wheat costs 10 rupees per kg, you can say that the exchange can take place for 10 gram of gold. Against that, 4,000 kilogram of wheat will be sold to them. But that is only possible because we have price determination. We can say price. This aspect is not discussed in your textbook, only for the sake of your understanding that another problem associated with barter system was the double coincidence of want. So what money can do? Money can eliminate the problem of double coincidence of want. You need not to know, you need not to get you need suppose for a shoe manufacturer, you need not to think that shoe manufacturer will be going to look for someone who is wanting to purchase shoes, and at the same time that person is selling wheat also. Simply is now in modern times, shoe manufacturer can sell his shoes. In return, he can get the money from the person who has purchased his shoes. After that, taking that money, he can go to the grocery shop, and then he can purchase wheat, whatever amount is required for his family. So in this heading, what we wanted to say, that money truly has proven to be a medium of exchange. Money has solved all the problem, all the headache that we wanted to have coincidence, and that twice, means double coincidence of want, has been sorted out by the use of money in modern times. I hope I made the point clear. If any doubt exists, do discuss in your interactive classes. Moving to page number 40, student, there is another heading, money as modern forms of modern forms of money, student. That is your on page number 40. But before that, there is a let's work these out section. Let's find out what is we have discussed money is a medium of exchange, that is written in the bold color in your textbook. There is a question, how does the use of money make it easier to exchange things? I made the point clear. Money is that medium which can be exchanged against any goods, any services, and that is why the person who has sold the goods and services to you will be in possession of money from your side, and that money will be utilized for that person, that seller, to purchase other thing, because every person is a consumer as well as a producer. For example, a shop seller of, again, take the example of shoe seller. He is a producer of shoe. He is selling shoes in the market, but at the same time he is consumer of various articles in his family requirement, be it electricity, be it food articles, be it clothes for the children, or the stationaries, book, pencil, school fees for the children, all are the consumption done. So every single individual in this world is producer as well as consumer. We are moving to our next topic, that is modern form of money. We have already discussed that in earlier period there was a barter system. In barter system, your book is giving you an idea that there exists the exchange of cattle, grains, some precious metals like gold, silver, or copper, that is mentioned, until unless the coins and paper currency was introduced. But it was not only as a medium of exchange, it was also having its use. Means grain could be utilized by the person to fulfill his family requirement. Another example is that cattle could be utilized for various purpose, for giving milk or for helping farmers in the agricultural field. Uh, Precious metals could be used to make the jewelries and other articles. But student, when the you have certain pictures showing you over the here that in the early period there started some coins. Let us take one by one, and you will find that images are showing that there was no proper shape of these coins. It was early Panchmark coins of 2500 year old, maybe 2500 year old it was existing. Then there was the Gupta dynasty coins showing you with the image of the king and some sign of the dynasties. It is like a person having bows and archery, that is shown over here. Then the Tughlaq dynasty coin is there, which is more looking like in a square shape, some sort of square shape. And then there is a gold more from the Akbar reign. Finally, you have your Indian currency. You can find that its shape is very good because of the modern facilities and machinery available. We used to get these coins in a very proper and good shape. It is looking round, properly round in shape. But that's not the case what we are supposed to discuss. What we are supposed to discuss is that in the barter system, whatever existed, we have discussed that there was always some problem. So modern forms of money included in the category, that is paper currency and coins, paper notes and coin. Now question is that there is a very good thing that you must have seen, that paper coin you used to take it in the hand every single day. It is simply made of paper and it is not any use like the early period when there existed a barter system. I said that what was used in the barter system as a medium of exchange was also of the utilization. It was not only for medium of exchange, it was not used for the purpose of exchange. I said that metals could be used like gold, silver, copper for making the jewelry or making some pots. Copper could be used for that making of the pot. Gold and silver could be used for the jewelry purpose. Grains could be used for the eating purpose. Cattle could be used for getting the milk if the mammals provided the milk, if the mammals belonging for the purpose of the milk, or that could be taken for the agricultural purpose. uh, but what about the modern coins? Neither the coins is made of the precious metal nor the paper notes, paper currency. You can say your book has written that modern form of money is without any use of its own. It means it has no value at all. Your book has not made further explanation, but I am sure that there must be some question in your mind that if what does it means that modern form of money is not any use of its own. Look student, that's very true that present day paper has actually no actual value. It means that currency what you are using in modern time, what your mother father is keeping in their wallet, in their purse, and every single day we are working hard to get into the possession of this paper currency, has no other use other than using it as a medium of exchange for purchasing various goods and services. I am repeating it again, student. I have taken one currency note. This is a currency note of 500 rupees, and you can say this currency note can be utilized only for one purpose, that the purpose is for exchanging goods. Suppose I want to purchase a 1 kilogram of any product, say butter, 1 kilogram of butter, and say the price. I don't have any idea what the actual price is, but suppose the butter is costing rupees 500 per kg. So by paying this 500 rupees to the seller, I will be getting 1 kg of butter. So I am exchanging this money with the butter. That is the only use. Similarly, the coin what we are using is not made of copper, gold or silver. It is made of some material that is called alloy. You study in chemistry, mixture of various metal which are actually not of that use. So question is how it is being made. For that, student, you must, how it is useful, why it is so important. Student, first you must understand what is not given in your textbook. This paper currency 500 rupees is printed by our government through RBI as per the instruction from central government, by keeping the same amount of the gold as reserve. It means 500 rupees, whatever the present gold value is, it's 500 rupees of gold will be reserved for printing this currency of note. Suppose government is printing 1 million of 500 currency notes. So 1 million means 10 lakh into 500. You calculate it yourself, student, and find out that what would be the value, that amount of gold will be reserved by the Reserve Bank of India. So it means it has money, only then it has been printed, because this money printing is allowed only to the central government. And through RBI, our agency under the control of the government, print it. It is not that anyone can print. Otherwise, everybody could be rich enough. We could have made the printing. We could be making the good printer in our home and could have printed as many currency notes. Then what would happen? The actual value of currency note would have been useless, because it was not converted to any precious metal. That's what I wanted to explain to you, that this currency note, two point I want to repeat. Let me get back to the point. Number one, this currency note can be used only for exchange. It has no other use, like in the barter system. Grain, cattle, gold, silver and copper could be used. They were used as a exchange. Those materials were used for the purpose of exchange as well as for the purpose of utilizing, like I gave you example. Second, how government is making it useful, this paper note, how this paper note is worth of 500 rupees that I can be purchasing. This is worth of 500 rupees when I can be purchasing, because similar amount of gold in quantity is reserved by RBI. So as many notes are printed, similar amount of gold in quantity, whatever quantity is, that is a matter of calculation. I don't want to make the calculation and I don't want to make the things complicated over here. I gave you simple example that suppose 10 lakh note to be printed, 1 million note to be printed. So you multiply 10 lakh into 500, whatever value comes. Now you find out what is the rate of the gold, convert it into the what quantity of gold can be converted against that amount, and that has to be reserved. Second, student, there is another issue, that in this country, wherever we are living, in our country, India, RBI, I made the point, is authorized for this at the as per the order from the central government, and that is why this note is acceptable across the country. That's why nobody asks you that why they are going to take this piece of paper. There are two aspects, student. Number one, it is guaranteed by the central government. I would suggest you today, after watching this video content, open any currency notes. You will find over here that it is written that guaranteed by the central government of India. Where RBI, it is written RBI, Reserve Bank of India. It is written guaranteed by the Central Bank of India. Maybe it is not visible over here, but you make your own effort. Try to get the currency note and read it yourself. It means it is guaranteed by the government, so it has to be accepted as a medium of exchange, and no one can deny. Denying any currency note as a medium of exchange within the territory of India will be considered as an offense. If someone is giving you 500 rupees, you cannot say that you will not accept this rupees which is printed by the government of India until unless it is fake. If it is a genuine currency note, you will have to accept as a medium of exchange, because you cannot deny it. That's the one of the thing your book has mentioned, that law legalizes the use of rupee as a medium of exchange, payment, for the purpose of payment or for the purpose of transaction. Now student, moving to our next heading on the same page, that is deposit with the banks. Let us discuss this point, that why do we make the deposit? What make us to do the I hope you understand that your mummy papa, whatever they earn, they make the bank account and they deposit some money as a saving bank account or current bank account. Question is why they do deposit. There are a few reasons, student. Number one, whatever we earn in a month or every day, we are not required to use all the money at the same time. So it means that there will be some money which will remain in our house. If suppose the quantity of money is quite large, it will make us insecure because there are possibility of our money can be robbed, or there could be a case of theft. So we will end up losing the precious thing for which actually we work hard. To keep our money safe, we actually deposit our money in the bank. By depositing the money in the bank, we have two benefits. Number one, our money becomes safe. That like keeping it in the house, it could be always unsafe. So in the bank now it has become quite safe. Second, student, there is another issue that it helps us to earn the rate of interest, that we will discuss more in detail when we will discuss the banking system. But it means that our money will keep growing. Suppose this 500 rupees note, you keep it in the cupboard in your house and you take this 500 rupees after 10 years, it will remain as it is, means your money will never grow. But when you will keep it in the bank, and suppose bank give you 10% rate of interest, so that after 1 year this will convert into 500 plus 10% of this, that is 50. So it will be 550. Next year it will be giving you another 55 rupees on that, that is 550, 10% of that. And that is how you make the calculation. You are the student of mathematics subject, so what this money will be converted after 10 years. So money will keep growing, our money will keep increasing. That's what everybody wants in their life. Now student, that there is another aspect, that we deposit this money because we are also given a guarantee that between the person who is depositing money and between the bank there is a deal, that the condition is demand deposit. This word is coming in your book, student. Demand deposit means whenever there will be demand, we will be in a state of taking money from bank. And these days, over the last 10 years, has become quite easier. Anytime going to ATM, which is a 24/7 facility, we can withdraw our money without asking or without taking permission from any authorities. So you can say that this demand deposit means this facility is like that cash is always there in our hand. Student, 30-40 years ago, the banking has a banking was restricted with the time. Like if you wanted to withdraw your money, you were supposed to go on the working day between 9 to 5 or 9 to 3 o'clock, and only then you could withdraw the money. But these days we have our debit card, anytime we can withdraw the money. We have our phone, a mobile phone and a smartphone through which we can make the payment. These days we have various e-wallet and mobile and internet banking through which we can do the transaction, and for that we need not to ask anyone permission. So this gives an idea that it is demand deposit, which is also like a cash facility. I have made the point clear that why we deposit the money in the bank. Number one, we want to keep our money safe, might not be very safe. Second, student, I made the point clear that we want to help our money keep growing. So for that, it is a good idea to keep the money in the bank and get some interest on in this. And third, student, that we want to discuss that we will be in a state that whenever there will be a demand, we will be in a state to withdraw the money. That is called demand deposit. But the student, don't get confused. There is another word which is pronounced as DD, that is called demand draft. In this chapter, there is no concern about demand draft. Whenever we will say DD or demand deposit, it will be only for demand deposit. It means we can withdraw our money. We are depositing our money with the condition that whenever we want, we can withdraw the money. Student, this video is already more than 34 minutes, so I am stopping here. In the next section, we will begin from the another medium of exchange, that is called check, in which no transaction of cash do take place. Thanks, student.